Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Drew Yari. Welcome to the Drew Yari Show. It is 10:55 p.m. here in San Antonio, January 15th, 2019. It is really fucking cold outside, I'll tell you that much. It's supposed to get even colder this weekend. Supposedly it's supposed to be in like the teens. That's what I heard. That's honestly what I heard. I'm going to look at the weather map real quick. Right, as of now, it's 50. Actually, it's 48 degrees. Well, this weekend, Saturday it's going to be 32. Sunday it's going to be in the 30s, but supposedly, they keep kind of switching it around. I don't know if I have the wrong, weather map, but someone said the 20s, and then my girlfriend mentioned that there would be like in the teens. So I don't know. I don't know what's what. All I know it's going to be cold as fuck this weekend. If any of y'all live in San Antonio, stay warm. Make sure you wear some very warm clothes. You have any animals, you have any pets, please bring them inside. Don't leave them outside. Don't be jerks. Pets are people too. Pets have feelings. They hurt just like the rest of us. Making sure we don't leave our puppies outside. We try and bring them in as quickly as possible. As soon as it gets to evening, or pretty much as soon as it gets dark, we make sure we let them in. Especially our dog Sophie. She's 12. She's an old lady. She's an old puppy girl. We still call her puppy girl. She prefers to be called a puppy, and she tries to act like one, but she hasn't realized that she's actually an old lady. So and then our 8,000 cat. Well, we don't have 8,000 cats. I think we have about 8. And for people listening, they're like, 8 cats? What the fuck? Basically, what happened. And basically what happened is that, the grandma of all of our cats, Evie, who's, still alive and kicking, they forgot to get her fixed after, like, the first batch a long time ago. So it just kind of went from there. After our cat Pepper, I think she was actually the last cat to have kittens, like 3.5 years ago. We got her fixed. And the thing is, like, we had been meaning to get her fixed, but that cat's kind of a slut. Or she used to be a slut. Like it would be like we would set a date for her to go get her fixed, and we would let her outside for like 3 seconds, and then she would come back in. She's already pregnant. So yeah, she was a whore, as some would say. Now she's just a whore for attention. But yeah, 8 cats. I hate them and I love them. They cause a lot of mischief. I'll just put it that way. How's everyone's day? My day was a big nothing burger, pretty much. I dropped my girlfriend off early in the morning. Well, not early in the morning, like around 11. Spent the next 90 minutes just Pokemon hunting. I was playing Pokemon Go, and I used up all my balls. So at the moment, I'm out of balls. Pokeballs, that is. So we're all getting back into Pokemon Go. You remember when that was a thing for like a week back in the summer of 2016? And then it came back because they decided to add more Pokemon to it, which that's something that they should have done when they first put it out. What else did I do? When I got home, I got something to eat before I came home. Came home, fed all my animals, and fed myself, and then started watching Widows. And then shred a bunch of letters, and that's it. The movie Widows, I thought I would like it a lot more than I did. Not that it was a bad movie. It's just, I don't know, to me it was one of those movies that it was kind of all over the place. It had so many other stories to tell, and then it would do this shit where it would talk about something, and then it would talk about something from a character's past, like, out of nowhere, without really even setting it up. or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But yeah, the movie was kind of a slow burn at some parts. But overall, I mean, I thought it was a good movie. It had a good twist. Shut the fuck up. Updates. I probably need to watch it again. What else did I watch? Over the weekend, I saw 2 movies with Bradley Cooper over the weekend. Actually, the past 4 days I've watched at least 3 Bradley Cooper movies. Last night was 18, which, I like that movie. I like that movie. I surprisingly liked it. I didn't think I would, but overall, it was good. Over the weekend, I watched A Star Is Born for the first time. That's a movie that anyone that knows me knows I probably wouldn't usually watch. Lucky I didn't have to pay to watch it, if you know what I mean. Good movie. Good music. Good story. I obviously didn't watch the other movies. There was one that had, I think Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson, I believe, the guy who played Whistler in Blade. And then there's another one before that. I don't know who the hell was in that. But, this one, obviously everyone's been raving about it. It has Bradley Cooper. He directs and stars in it. And then Lady Gaga. I say Lady Gaga. She plays the lead actress. Sam Elliott, who plays the brother of Bradley Cooper. And Andrew Dice Clay, who's the father of Lady Gaga's character, and Dave Chappelle's in the movie for literally 10 minutes, who I think probably has the most effective, monologue in the movie. It was a good movie. It's just very depressing. I mean, the 2 leads in it weren't very likable. I mean, I guess I can't say Lady Gaga's character is unlikable. Because her character is she's a small town girl living in a lonely world. She takes the midnight train going anywhere. Oh wait, that's something completely different. Her character is that she works at like a karaoke bar for drag queens. And you got Bradley Cooper, who's this like old school, famous singer. They don't specify what genre he is. Because I think he's country, but in the beginning, he's doing a rock song. So I don't know what his genre of music is supposed to be. Maybe like folk music or something. Maybe like a Tom Petty type or a Johnny Cash type. I'm not sure. So he meets her at this bar, falls in love. He meets her and he falls in love with her within like the first 2 dates. So I don't know. It is what it is. So, I mean, I think his character goes out of his way to be unlikable. Because the whole point of his character is that he's a drunk. He's a drug addict. And, that's not supposed to be someone who's likable. So I get that. And then Lady Gaga's character is that she's a small town girl. And then she gets famous. And then when she gets this record deal, the record label tells her, first of all, you got to change your look. You got to change how you're going to change your style, how you sing. You're going to have backup dancers. There's a scene where she's performing and she tells her backup dancers, I don't need you. I can just sing. And the record producer tells her, yeah, don't do that. Don't ever go rogue. You'll stick to the contract. You'll stick to the look. So as her star is rising, I guess he's not getting jealous, but he tells her before, don't change. Like, be who you are, but she eventually changes. She performs on SNL, and she basically performs one of those, like, really cringeworthy white girl pop rap songs. And that kind of increases his addiction to drinking and doing drugs. She wins a Grammy, and he embarrasses her by getting on stage and pissing himself, and he's loaded, and has to go to rehab, and then in the end he ends up killing himself, and that's pretty much how the movie ends. It's depressing. I'm not trying to say don't see this movie. If you want to see it, see it. I'm just giving my opinion. I mean, the music was good. They had some good songs, and their song that Gaga and Cooper sang together, it won a Golden Globe for Best Song in a Movie. It's more than likely to get nominated for an Oscar. This movie's probably gonna win a shit ton of Oscars. I don't think Gaga will win for Best Actress. She'll probably win like Best Song, but yeah, there's that. And then the night after, I watched The Mule with Clint Eastwood, and Cooper was in it, playing a DEA agent. Before this movie even came out, I saw a lot of people complaining about it. And a movie like this coming out in this type of society where it's like, you can't say that, that's racist. That's racist, that's sexist. It's like, first of all, Clint Eastwood is an 80-something-year-old. Matter of fact, I don't even think he's 80. I think he's like 90-something. Let me look up Mr. Eastwood's age. Hold up, just a second. He was born in 1930, May 31st, so that would make him 88. Yeah, he's 88. He's an 88-year-old man. Do you honestly expect your 88-year-old grandpa to be tuned to what's hip? I'm not trying to say it's right. For example, there's a scene where Clint Eastwood's walking out of like a convenience store, and he sees this group of bikers. So he tries to give advice on, how to fix their bike, because I think one of their bikes is messed up. And the biker turns around, ends up being a guy, and it's like a girl, but it's a butch woman, and their biker gang's known as the Dykes on Bikes. And as he's walking away, he says something else like, "Oh, I hope you get your bike fixed," or whatever. And the lead bike, I guess the head biker or the leader says, "Thanks, Grandpa," or "Thanks, Pops." And then Clint Eastwood turns around and goes, "You're welcome, fags." And it's a funny scene. It's not something you really should laugh at, but it's one of those things that's just like, okay. I mean, you can picture somebody you know's, grandfather or dad saying that. Because, for example, my dad, he's not a racist at all. He does not have a racist bone in his heart. He'll say things that are maybe conceived as racist. But, and don't get it twisted, I'm not trying to say my dad's, wearing a red hood and he's calling himself, and he's the Grand Wizard or the Grand Master of the Ku Klux Klan. My dad is from another country, basically another world. So things that were taught as not acceptable and acceptable here were like the complete opposite over there. So sometimes I'll have to catch my dad, whenever he says certain things about certain people. And he doesn't mean it. He has no hate in his heart for a race or anybody. I don't know, it's just the way I don't want to say the way he was brought up, but it's just words he hears, and, he knows what he says is wrong. But again, my dad's, another world, another time. I can't expect my dad to be hip and uptuned to today's society with this SJW, society or whatever, so. It is what it is. But yeah, overall the movie was good. It was kind of what you expect from a Clint Eastwood movie nowadays. It's like Gran Torino. Gran Torino was good. This is kind of basically like Gran Torino. Whereas, Clint Eastwood is dealing with another race, and he has to be around another race and try and be accepted around it or accept it. Even though Gran Torino's far much better movie than The Mule. The Mule is very predictable, and you kind of can see what happens later on. But I mean, it's a pretty good movie. I think you guys should go watch it. What else? Didn't watch SmackDown. I kind of wish I did, because I heard a lot of good things about the Andrade. He's not called Andrade. They dropped the CN on this part. He's not Andrade. Andrade versus Rey Mysterio, which, from what I heard, it wasn't just the match of the night. I heard it's got match of the year candidate. And I'm kicking myself that I didn't watch SmackDown. I had to go pick my girl up from work around 7. So I think the match was on the first half of the show. But yeah, I should have watched it. I mean, the only things I saw were stills. AJ Styles handing out hot dogs to the fans and Daniel Bryan doing his whole veganism shtick, which I'm going to have to watch SmackDown tomorrow. I mean, I have Hulu, and it appears on Hulu the next day, so I'm going to have to watch it just to see what went on. I'm pretty sure they're going to chop a lot of shit out. But, I mean, the sole purpose I want to watch it for is that Andrade and Rey Mysterio match. Before I got on here, I was listening to Breakfast Soup Live with DT and Mish. And Mish kind of put out the idea that this is definitely a WrestleMania-worthy match. Like, have this match the way it is and kind of keep the... I'm not saying this is what he said. This is what I'm kind of... I'm going by what he said, and then I'm trying to add my own spin to it. You take this match, keep these two away from each other, kind of build that tension, but keep these two away from each other until Mania. Like, kind of tease more, conflict between them, but at Mania, that's when you kind of give this big match. It probably won't happen. It doesn't seem like they really do big matchups anymore. But what I mean by big matchups are singles matches. Like at Mania, this is more than likely going to turn into some type of tag team match of some sort. They'll find somebody to team up with fucking Ray. But yeah, I agree with Mish. This is totally a Mania match. Just by how everyone's talking about the match, I saw that fucking cool. What is it? The Hurricane Rana that Ray did off the top turnbuckle while Andrade was standing on the apron outside. He jumped off, did a Hurricane Rana, and Hurricane Rana his ass on the floor. Which I saw that went, holy fucking shitballs. So I'm actually pretty stoked to wake up tomorrow and watch that match on Hulu. So we'll see what they cut out, but I doubt they'll cut anything out. Oh yeah, Raw. Let's talk about Raw. What happened on Raw last night? I watched the second half. I didn't get a chance to watch the beginning. The only thing I really saw... I remember before I watched the show, someone had threw out that rumor. Someone threw out a rumor that they were apparently going to write off Braun Strowman, from the Royal Rumble, from the match with Brock. And the talk was that he wasn't 100%. And I don't know if that's right, or if maybe it's like a personal issue, between Braun and the company. Braun basically, went ham. He went crazy. He tore off, the door to Vince McMahon's limo. McMahon said, that'll be 100,000 grand, damn it. And then Braun, talks back to him. Vince says, oh yeah, you want to yell? Fine. Your Royal Rumble match with Brock Lesnar, it's off. It's off the table. It's canceled. So, before I get into, Finn Balor and everything, which, let me reward that. Before I talk about Finn Balor, not get in Finn Balor, because that would be gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But, so what are they going to do with Braun at the Rumble? I mean, he's obviously going to be a part of the Rumble. Is he going to be in the Rumble? I mean, that's kind of a given. Kevin Castle kind of alluded, to that this might be a personal issue between the company, because I didn't see Raw last week, but apparently Braun gave a promo that was so fucking bad that even Brock and Paul Heyman were laughing at him during the promo while they were on TV. So I didn't see the promo, but apparently it was so bad. It was fucking BAD bad. And I think the company... Kevin said he thinks the company kind of pulled back and went, yeah, we don't need another Roman Reigns situation. We don't need the people despising this guy while we're trying to push him, so we're going to take him off. And then there's the talk, coming from other people that Braun's not 100%. There's been talks about him, being gassed out as soon as he gets to the back. So he's not an Undertaker, that's for sure. Taker was able to go out there and have wrestle for 30 minutes a night and, be perfectly fine, I mean, granted he took a shit ton of, painkillers, but, Braun just doesn't seem like he has that in him. You know, big. I mean, a guy that big can't. I don't think can go out for more than at least maybe 18 minutes, 15, 18 minutes. And the match build up, leading up to, their match of the Rumble, Braun and Brock, hasn't been all that great because we've seen this 8 million times already. Brock always crushes Braun. The last time he made Braun look like a bitch, pretty much. I mean, granted, Baron Corbin came out and cost him the match, but still, come on. Anyway. So they decided to set up a Fatal 4-Way match between Finn Balor, returning John Cena, Baron Corbin, for whatever reason, and Drew McIntyre. I didn't see this, but apparently Vince McMahon told Finn Balor, I don't believe in you, I have no faith in you, blah, blah, blah. He puts him in a match with Jinder Mahal because Jinder Mahal wants a shot, and then Finn beats Jinder Mahal. Goes out there and I forgot who he pinned. I forgot if he pinned John Cena or Drew McIntyre. I think it was Drew McIntyre. And then John Cena comes out and does this whole, I'm going to ride off somebody else's coattails and make him look cool and congratulate him, said, I believe in you. So, there you go. There's your Royal Rumble Universal Championship match. It's going to be Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, which I'm interested in. A lot of people think this is a very undersized matchup. The only response I have to you is Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan and Brock at Survivor Series had a fucking awesome match. The year before that, AJ Styles and Brock had a fucking awesome match. CM Punk and Brock Lesnar had a fucking awesome match. Eddie Guerrero, 2004 No Way Out versus Brock Lesnar. Great fucking match, and Eddie ended up being the WWE champion. I mean, granted, Eddie looked, I guess, bigger in muscle mass compared to AJ and Daniel Bryan and Finn, but he was still a fucking small guy. I think he was my height. This could be a good match. It just depends on how you build it up. Don't try and do the whole Mighty Mouse, Finn is the underdog, Finn, and no. Let Finn go out there and believe he can do it. Let people believe in Finn. Let Paul Heyman come out and, stroke his ego and be like, I believe in you, Finn. I have respect for you. But who doesn't have respect for you? Brock Lesnar. So, and supposedly Brock actually handpicked Finn to be his opponent at the Rumble. That's what I saw from a wrestling news site, that he actually handpicked Finn, and I would believe that. Because a lot of people want to shit on Brock. I think Brock recognizes talent. I think Brock, when he sees someone that works hard, that goes out there and busts their ass and lead by example, Brock's no dummy. You see this contract that Brock has. He's no dummy. He's also no dummy when it comes to talent. He sees a guy like Finn, who's over as fuck, who's genuinely a good dude. You never hear a bad word about Finn Balor. People love Finn Balor. The company loves Finn Balor. He's someone that can be the face of the company. He can represent the company. Kids love him, women love him, men love him. Well, maybe not straight men, but I'm sorry. And Brock sees that and he goes, I want to work with him. He's over. People love him. I think he's a good dude. I like him. Let's see what we can do. Let's make magic. Let's go out there and have a great match. Now, the question is, will Finn win? I can maybe see it happening because, going back to Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar in 2004. Yeah, 2004. Nobody gave Eddie a chance. Everyone assumed Eddie was going to lose. Eddie ends up winning. Granted, this was a decade before the internet. So back in the day, if the talk was, Brock is supposedly leaving to go play football, that would have been on the internet within seconds, and people would have been watching that pay-per-view going, okay, Brock's supposed to lose because he's going to play for the NFL. No, I didn't know anything about that, until after it happened. I didn't have access to the internet. I couldn't get on and go to wrestling websites or go on Facebook or Twitter and, see, Pro Wrestling Sheet or whatever the fuck, or WrestleZone, I mean. No, I watched it, and then I had to find out, like physically through my eyes, like, Brock Lesnar is playing in the NFL. He's playing for the Minnesota Vikings. So, again, suspension of disbelief. You didn't know what the fuck was going on in real life. You just saw the show. So, but yeah, Brock is currently in the WWE. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. But I do think it's very believable that Finn could win. Give him the demon gimmick. That's a given. The demon versus the beast. That sells tickets. That could be a marquee matchup. That can bring people in. When Finn does the demon gimmick, he tends to kind of change his style up a little bit, and you kind of have to, because you can't be regular Finn Balor, and then you go to Demon Finn Balor and you're still doing what regular Finn Balor is doing. No, when you're the Demon Finn Balor, you kind of have to almost go in there and work as a heel. Almost. Be more aggressive. Go in there and kick the shit out of people and beat the shit out of them and punch them, fucking bite them, and just be nuts. And, working with Brock Lesnar, you're kind of going to have to be. Yeah, I think Finn should win. It makes sense. He wins. Who would he face at Mania, though? The idea from Don Tony, and I'm 100% on board with this. Finn wins the title, goes to Mania. Seth wins the Royal Rumble. So you have Seth versus Finn, which that will be a fucking clinic. Like, bro. Like, I'm starting to sound like Vince Russo for a second. Bro, what's your understanding, bro? Make Finn Balor and Seth Rollins a demon on a pole match, bro. See, somewhere Vince Russo is sitting in his living room. My ears are burning, bro. That's my Vince Russo impression, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, I have issues. Anyways, yeah, that should definitely be the main event if that happens. That will be a clinic. Will it be Braun versus Brock? I don't see that happening. I don't really want it to happen, but it probably will happen. Or, the talk is they've been wanting to get Batista back. And because the original idea was they wanted Batista versus Triple H. Batista wanting it for like a, I guess a retirement match. But then Triple H got hurt. And you still have Batista for something. Why not have it be Batista versus Brock Lesnar? Because those two never wrestled. And, I mean, if it's going to be Batista versus Brock, make it like, put a stipulation on it. Make it like an Extreme Rules match or a Street Fight. Well, they're both the same fucking thing. But you get where I'm going with this. If it's going to be Batista versus Brock, put a stipulation behind it, because if this was Batista versus Brock like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, it'd be interesting to watch them have a wrestling match. Now that, Batista's like almost 50-something. He's almost 50. And then you got Brock, who's, I think, turning 40 this year. These two can't have a wrestling match. And also, Brock can't wrestle more than like 7-8 minutes. So you need to add some stipulation behind it if you do make this. And that's a match that can fucking sell tickets, because, Brock, as much as we hate him, as much as we hate his contract, as much as we give him shit, Brock still sells money. He still sells tickets. People want to see Brock go out there and destroy. And then you have Batista, who's in fucking Marvel. Marvel is what launched his fucking career and is what made him a household name. So you bring Batista back as a badass face, and then you have the kick-ass heel with Brock in a fucking no-holds-barred street fight. That would be fucking awesome. Like, I want to see that. But it probably won't happen because it's WWE and they like to, fuck us in the ass. But yeah, that's the Royal Rumble in a nutshell. Speaking of Royal Rumble, the week after the Royal Rumble, on a Friday, February 1st, Trez from Dark Chronicles will come back to the show, and we will record. One of the things on hand is to do a review of the Royal Rumble and also NXT. So we have that on hand, and also whatever comes to mind. I was trying to get her on this Friday, but schedules couldn't work. So she threw out the idea, hey, how's about I come back in about 2 weeks, and let's make something happen. I said, yeah, sure. So Trez will be on the show in 2 weeks, or she'll be back on the show in 2 weeks. I remember we did a show with her where we actually, it was the Monday before SummerSlam. So we ended up doing our review of, or predictions contest for SummerSlam. So there's that. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked for it. This Friday I'm off. So I was trying to get something going. I might just do an extra show this Friday. Because anyone that, kind of follows the schedule, Wednesday is when the shows come out. That's pretty much, a given. The show is always going to come out Wednesday, and I always mention I'll do an extra show out of the week. So, Friday, I was trying to get something going. I was trying to see if I can get one of my friends to talk. I'm just fucking up tonight. I was hoping to get one of my friends on this Friday. He's actually trying to start a podcast. He Facebook messaged me the other day and just was asking me for advice about podcasting and whatnot. And he probably has a pretty sweet gig set up. He is going to be he's going to be a sub channel on somebody's network. Whoop-de-fucking-do, I'm playing. Yeah, his name is Sean. He's a good dude. I just messaged him. I said, "Are you doing anything Friday?" So on Friday we can maybe do a quick little show. Oh man. Anywho. What else can I talk about in the world of wrestling? I mean, AEW happened last week. It'd be kind of... I don't know, I'd be really late to the party. I mean, I've already said my piece. I'm pretty sure everyone else has said their piece. Julian from Wrestling Court did an episode with Joey Numbers from Wrestling Soup. The day of the whole AEW conference. Hands down, if you want an accurate account of what happened that day, listen to that episode. It is, without a doubt, the most accurate account of what happened. Julian's the man. He's fucking awesome. Joey's fucking awesome. They make magic happen. They made that day what it was. That's all I gotta say. So if you want an accurate account of what happened, listen to them. Don't come to me, because I didn't even watch the press conference. I was going by what fucking Julian said. The other thing I'm gonna say about AEW is, from everything I heard, they want to have equal pay, which, okay, equal pay is a good idea, but are you trying to tell me that Britt Baker should have the same pay as, let's say if they end up getting Kenny Omega, who's, the biggest star in wrestling right now, which, granted, I'm not a big Kenny Omega fan. I like him, I admire him, I think he's a great wrestler, and I acknowledge that he's the most over and most popular wrestler in the business today. Hands down. But you're trying to tell me that him and Britt Baker are the same? Like, come on. Like, and I don't know much about Britt Baker, in fact, I'll throw out a different name, Tessa Blanchard. She's one of the most, talented, female wrestlers in the business. Are you trying to tell me that she deserves the same pay as Kenny Omega? Like, it's like Ronda Rousey, she said in a press conference, I get paid a lot, and I get, bonuses, and I get A, B, C, and D because I bring in the most money. I bring in pay-per-view buys, I'm just everything I say I'm in more. Equal pay is a good idea, but, Zack Ryder should not be making the same amount of money as Brock Lesnar, or as John Cena, or as Seth Rollins. pay should go by how much revenue and how much, merch that you sell. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say. And, as far as I know, as far as anyone else knows, their first pay-per-view event, Double or Nothing, is May 25th or 26th at MGM Grand. And they decided to have their press conference in Jacksonville during the daytime with only 200-something people on a weekday. Not on a weekend, a weekday. So that was their first mistake. They couldn't at least do it somewhere inside because from the videos I did see and like picture stills I did see, it looked like the light was blinding people while they were trying to fucking speak. And Cody Rhodes is making his wife the chief booking officer? With what experience exactly? I have an associate's degree. Yeah, so do I. Maybe I should be the fucking CBO. And, they signed Chris Jericho, which I like Jericho, but you're trying to start a new wrestling company and Chris Jericho is your big sign. I mean, granted, maybe that can bring in, current WWE fans, but you're talking about a new innovative wrestling company and Chris Jericho is your big get. He was pushing 50, by the way. You bring in Christopher Daniels, who I remember somebody put on Twitter, Christopher Daniels confirms he signs with AEW. My response was, if this was 2006, I still wouldn't care. Who else did they sign? They signed Bad Boy Joey Janela, who, granted, I don't know too much about him. I only saw his match at All In, and I liked his match. Neville signed, or Pac, as it wants to be called, who, for whatever reason, showed up in wrestling gear. I don't know why, but he just did. They're in Florida, so that makes sense. Supposedly they're going to sign Goldberg to what? Supposedly an announcing gig with Jim Ross, who they're trying to go after as well, but I don't know. At the moment, it's just another wrestling company. I mean, it'd be interesting if it... I'm not saying I don't want it to thrive. What I'm saying is they made a bad first impression. They made a... Maybe not a terrible bad first impression, but a very subpar, mediocre, lukewarm impression. But, I mean, I would like it to succeed because wrestling was amazing whenever we had three companies. When there was WWE, WWF, WCW, and ECW. We had competition. ECW is what, started the whole Attitude Era, and WCW is what made WWE take those risks. And that's why WWE, thrived, in the end, because they had competition and they knew they had to step their game up. Now, the reason why the company is very subpar is I think is because Vince is very lazy and complacent, and he's thinking, well, I don't have any competition, and we're not going out of business, so I feel no need to step anything up. So, I mean, hopefully, maybe AEW does do well, and it does, become like the second option in America. But, that remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. Well, that's enough of wrestling. We'll move on to the entertainment biz. So, did a Spider-Man trailer come out today? I don't know. Oh yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, that debuted at actually 8:45 in the morning. I woke up, watched it. There's actually two trailers. They released the international trailer, which I think that's the one I watched. Because then I watched the actual trailer, and there was some stuff that was like, wait, wasn't there a scene where... Because there's a scene in the international trailer where he goes through TSA. TSA opens up his bag, and they see the Spider-Man suit. And then they pull out a banana saying, this not okay. So, yeah. The trailer looks fun. I mean, it's a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man has to be fun. It has to be a fun movie. They don't mention anything about Infinity War or Endgame. or Thanos. They only mentioned Iron Man once, but that's because somebody compared Mysterio to Iron Man. We'll get to Mysterio in a second. So, the theory of this movie is that, is it set before Infinity War or after Infinity War? Because I remember somebody had mentioned that the events in this movie literally take place like 15 minutes after Endgame. But then somebody threw out the idea, what if this happened before Infinity War? And what if Spider-Man is dead permanently and is never coming back? Which I doubt that'll happen. I think all in all this movie happens after Infinity War, or even if it is before Infinity War, Spider-Man's coming back. You need Spider-Man back. Which is why whenever I did see Infinity War, the two deaths that I saw that I didn't buy were Spider-Man and Black Panther. Because I'm like, wait, Black Panther just made you like a dick ton of money, and you're killing them off? Like, that I don't get. And then they already announced that they're making a second one. And it's getting nominated for awards, and it's probably going to get an Oscar for something. Or an Oscar nomination for something, so he'll be back. And then Spider-Man's coming back, so... Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think this movie will be set after Infinity War. Even if it isn't, he's still coming back. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. In the trailer, somebody pointed out, because, people do their homework, a lot better than I do. Someone pointed out in the trailer that Happy Hogan's bringing this giant check, and it has Pepper Potts' name on it. We were thinking, wait, is Tony dead? It's like, well, isn't Pepper like the CEO of Stark Industries, and she's, only confident one actually running it? So, I don't know. Apparently Happy is trying to fuck Aunt May, which, good for him. Good get for him. So that means Tony's probably dead. We've already went through a billion, Avengers 4 theories. Someone pointed out that, the suitcase that Peter was using was actually Uncle Ben's. Because it had BFP, which is Benjamin, F. Parker. The first mention of Uncle Ben in the MCU. Which, good. That's really all I have to say, because how many times do you see that dude die? I mean, you kind of need to let it cool off until people actually want to see what Uncle Ben looks like. I mean, I'm curious, what actor does Uncle Ben look like? Like, I want to kind of... I've always, had this, thought of, sneaking into these Marvel movies, actually sneaking into the world of that Marvel movie and just looking at pictures and being like, okay, that's the actor. You know what I mean? Or going on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s database and just typing in random, Marvel characters and be like, okay, that's the actor who's going to play Wolverine, or that's the actor who's going to be the Gambit or whatever. And then go back to real world and just put it on the internet. Breaking news, so-and-so is going to play Wolverine. I know that sounds weird, but, whatever. I think somebody pointed out, they want Steve Carell to be Uncle Ben. That'd be interesting. That'd be very heartwarming, because I love Steve Carell so much. So he does a lot of drama now. He doesn't really do any comedy anymore, which, good for him, but I would like to see Michael Scott back every now and then. Or Burke. In the trailer, Nick Fury shows up. It's the first time you see Nick Fury and Spider-Man team up in the movies. He, has a job lined up for Spider-Man. There's shit going down in Europe that Spider-Man needs to thwart. And then you see Hydro Man. Ooh, if anyone watched the cartoon, you remember Hydro Man. You see this giant sand monster, which I'm assuming is Sandman, but they never mention anything about casting Sandman. So until I see the motherfucker wear a freaking striped shirt, then he ain't Sandman. You see Jake Gyllenhaal debut as Mysterio. It kind of looks like he has the same powers as Doctor Strange, kinda. You see him with the fishbowl helmet going after Hydro Man. And it looks fucking, comically accurate. The storyline behind Mysterio's or Jake Gyllenhaal's character as Mysterio in the movie is that he's first brought in as a good guy. Like, he looks like a good guy. He's doing good guy things, working for S.H.I.E.L.D. Him and, Peter are best buds. And, eventually, all the shit that's been going down, it's all Mysterio's fault because he's Mysterio. He causes illusions to happen. He's making the illusion that he's a good guy, but he's really doing all this crazy, fucked up shit. So, there's Spider-Man Far From Home. July 6th. 2 days after my girl's birthday. Happy birthday to her. One thing about the movie, I like it. I mean, I'm going to go see it. Anything that's Marvel related, I'm going to go see. I'm hyped to see it. I mean, I'm definitely more hyped to see it than Captain Marvel. I'll see Captain Marvel. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I mean, you kind of already know what's going to happen. You do and you don't. Because with Marvel movies, they'll kind of throw in these little tiny, wrenches. They go, haha, you didn't see that coming, right? Huh? Jude Law's character, they keep kind of switching it around. Because they say he's Captain Marvel. Or not Captain Marvel, Marvel. And then they say he's a different character. And then they go back to Marvel. And then they say he's another character. It's fucking confusing. Yeah. Captain Marvel looks... it looks like it might be good, but I don't know. I just don't have the same feeling about it like I did for Infinity War or Black Panther, now Far From Home. Going to the Fox Marvel deal, the deal was set to conclude and be finalized in March, beginning of March. They had to scrap a lot of Marvel, movies had to be scrapped, because of the deal. Marvel Fox movies. I have them right here. Let's see. Gambit and Doctor Doom are officially dead. As for X-Force, it's not officially dead, but they only have 2 months to start filming it. And that's not going to happen. So not happening, not with Fox anyway. So basically, at the moment, it's just being shelved. So I remember hearing Josh Brolin say that he was going to be back in X-Force as Cable. New Mutants will be the last X-Men universe movie for Fox, and Dark Phoenix, the last one coming from the main series. So does that mean those characters are going to be integrated into the MCU? I don't know. Seems kind of weird to just give him this movie and then say, oh, okay, we're casting him. Silver Surfer, Kitty Pryde, and Multiple Man are also dead. I heard about Multiple Man. James Franco was tied to it, and it was supposed to be like very hard R. That's what I heard. Kitty Pryde, I didn't hear shit about. Silver Surfer, I kind of vaguely heard about. I know the director of Vice, Adam McKay. He wants to do a Silver... He like, so desperately wants to do a Silver Surfer movie. And then Rob Liefeld, who was the Deadpool creator, chimed in, pour one up for old X-Force, victim of the merger. 800 million grosser easy. So yeah, there's that. Going back to Gambit, poor Channing Tatum, man. Honestly, I'm reading this off of ScreenGeek.net. I honestly never even expected to see the Channing Tatum Gambit movie get made. So that's not a surprise at all. Same with Doctor Doom. Not getting an X-Force movie would be a bit of a surprise, though, based on how terrible X-Men Dark Phoenix sounds. It's not all that surprising that these movies won't be made, as Marvel Studios will be looking to go into a very different direction with properties like the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Yeah, poor Gambit. Like, Channing Tatum had been trying for, feels like almost 5 years to try and get that movie off the ground, and it just, every twist and turn, the movie would get delayed. And the first time, because I remember it was supposed to come out in 2016, and then Deadpool happened, so they decided to rewrite the script. And then Logan came out, so they had to do another rewrite, and then they kept losing directors. And Channing Tatum, God bless his heart, stuck to his guns and said, I'm seeing this one out. I'm sticking through. I'm a soldier. a little soldier, and in the end, it didn't work out because, I mean, did we honestly want to see a Gambit movie? I mean, I love Gambit. I think Gambit's better suited to be part of a team, but a Gambit movie, I don't think I was ever hyped to see a Gambit movie. To be honest, I want to see Gambit in the X-Men. I don't want to see a Gambit movie on his own. And Channing Tatum, you know, his star is kind of fading. I mean, if this were 5 years ago, I think people would care, but Gambit, I mean, Channing Tatum's not that big of a star anymore. So, and then you have X-Force, which, you know, again, I don't know too much about X-Force, get hyped about it. It would have been interesting to watch, but, you know, and then Doom, which I don't know why would anyone want to watch a Doom movie? I mean, not the shitty one with The Rock, but a Doctor Doom movie. I mean, Doctor Doom is a very interesting character. He's one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Universe, but a Doom movie without the Fantastic Four. I mean, granted, yeah, we're getting a Joker movie without Batman, but that's very different. A Doom movie without the Fantastic Four, what would be the conflict? And then, you know, supposedly the guy who made Legion was gonna pen and direct it. Silver Surfer, I don't know who was gonna be part of that. I just know that supposedly Adam McKay, you know, so desperately wants it. He's gonna get an Oscar nod. And then he's going to, you know, jump in and be like, you know, give me that MCU movie, which I've noticed a lot of actors are doing that. Like, they'll win their Oscars by doing their period pieces, their little smarmy indie films, and they'll go and be like, okay, I'll put on the superhero cape now. You know, like Jared Leto wins an Oscar, then he plays the Joker. Brie Larson wins an Oscar, and now she's playing Captain Marvel. You know, Jake Gyllenhaal's had his nominations, now he's going to play Mysterio. I mean, I'm all for that. I mean, I'm waiting for Leo to fucking do something. I think you know what? I'm going to put it out there. Leo should be Doctor Doom in the MCU. That would fucking work. I mean, when you look at them, they're kind of the same person. I'm just saying. Let's see. If I had to pick a fan casting for the Fox Marvel characters. Well, it's not going to be called Fox Marvel, it's just going to be called Marvel now. For Wolverine. I mean, for the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Okay, starting with the Fantastic Four. Leo DiCaprio as Doctor Doom. Like, that's my first choice. Bring in Patrick Wilson as Mr. Fantastic. He looks the part. I mean, a lot of people want John Krasinski, but I'm just going by what I want. Taylor Schilling from Orange is the New Black as Susan Storm. Dave Franco as Johnny Storm. And then for just because I can, John Cena as the Thing. And just say it's clobbering time. Just have CM Punk watch it and be like, you motherfucker. And, oh yeah, for the X-Men, oof, that'll be a tough choice. Liam Neeson has to be Magneto. That's perfect casting. Or, you know, just integrate the cast that they have now. Bring in James McAvoy, bring in Michael Fassbender, Sophie Turner. I mean, they're like literally new people. It wouldn't make sense to recast them. As for Wolverine, just bring back Hugh Jackman. Just please, Disney, just dump like a freaking 2 trucks or 3 trucks of money in front of Hugh Jackman's house, and just have him sign. Please, just bring in Hugh Jackman. Nobody else can play Wolverine but Hugh Jackman. We need that interaction. What else do I have on the docket? Disney Plus Marvel... was it Disney Plus? The Marvel shows will consist of Loki, a Loki show, or Tom Hiddleston will narrate, supposedly. It'll be about a younger Loki. Scarlet Witch and Vision. Sorry, I'm burping. Which, I'll see how that's going to work out. Lady Sif show, which I'd be interested. I'd watch that. With Beta Ray Bill, who's apparently going to be a part of it. A Falcon and Winter Soldier show, which is supposed to have the writer of Empire, which that'd be interesting. And this came out a couple of days. A Moon Knight show. I want to fucking see that. I fucking love Moon Knight. I fucks with Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. Big Moon Knight fan, reading the comics. It would have been more interesting to see this as a Netflix show. Just so I can see that more brutal and vicious side of Moon Knight. But are they going to do the whole, Moon Knight wearing a suit version? Okay, that's fine. I didn't think I would like that, but it's an interesting concept. He wears the suit whenever he's with the cops, whenever he's just, not Moon Knight, but he's known as Mr. Knight. And then when he's, about to, fuck shit up and fuck people up, he puts on the cape and calls himself Moon Knight. I'd be interested in watching that. Who would play Moon Knight, though? I mean, that's a character, you need a certain actor for it. You can't just pick anyone. It has to be someone who can fit that criteria. Someone who can play crazy. Who can play crazy and just lure you in, but it can also be someone that could fuck you up. Because, granted, he's going to be wearing the costume, but it needs to be someone who can play crazy. Who can act and who can play crazy. I don't know who the hell can play that role, honestly. I mean, it's Marvel. They're usually not bad with casting. So we'll see how that works out. It says that the shows may have a budget of $100 million for each show, which that makes sense. So you have Loki. That's going to be in space. I mean, it's obviously going to be on Asgard, so it's going to have a big budget, and it's also Loki. Scarlet Witch and Vision, for their powers alone, that's a big budget, especially Vision, who has like a dick ton of CGI done. Lady Sif, again, she's in space somewhere. So then you got Beta Ray Bill, Falcon and Winter Soldier. You're gonna need CGI for Falcon's wings. I mean, I don't think a Falcon and Winter Soldier will require that much CGI. A Moon Knight show, I don't think so. Because he's a street level hero. So I don't know how much CGI you would need for Moon Knight. Maybe when he gets his powers or when he has his cape and cowl on. But we'll see how that works out. And this just came out today. A new Ghostbusters movie, which is supposedly going to be set directly after the 1984 movie, ignoring the 2016 debacle with all the women. It's kind of similar to what Halloween did, where Halloween, they had their sequel, or the new Halloween movie that came out. It was literally a direct sequel after the first one, and it ignored everything else that happened after that, including the garbage Rob Zombie movies, which had nothing to do with John Carpenter's Halloween. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't say it's original, but hey, you got money, you have the time, do it. I mean, Hollywood's just running out of ideas. It's going to be directed by Jason Reitman, who directed Juno. The movie's supposed to come out in 2020. So what are you going to do, though? Because Harold Ramis died. So what are you going to do with that? Is it going to be like their sons or their children? Or something? I don't know how that would work. I'm pretty sure they'll find an idea. What's next? That's the last bit of news. I guess we can kind of close the show out with. The Punisher Season 2 debuts this Friday on Netflix. So anyone who's willing to stay up that late, it'll come on at 2 in the morning on Netflix. 2 in the morning, Friday, January 18th. What do I think about the new series? Phew. That wasn't a bad. That was more just like a I'll just wait and see what happens. Because I'm gonna watch it, and I'll probably like it. Because the first season of Punisher, I wouldn't say I hated it. It's just it kind of had a good beginning. It had a really awkward and weird middle, and then it had a good ending. That awkward and weird middle was, him having some weird relationship with Chip's, family. That's why I didn't understand. That's why I don't understand why they tried to do that thing. Because, again, Marvel, at the end of the day, they wanted to tell their story and do their whole SJW shit and let's humanize the Punisher. It's like, no, don't humanize the Punisher. Don't. Keep the Punisher as is. Stay away from the Punisher. And then, in the end, he ends up being the Punisher and fucking shit up, which I liked. And this season, he has some kind of connection with this girl who's being chased after this weird group known as, and I have the name right here, the Mennonites. I haven't read too many Punisher comics, so I'm not sure what the Mennonites is. I should probably ask Mish about that. The main villains are Jigsaw, who's Billy from first season. Who they're doing a different take on Jigsaw, whereas Jigsaw in the past, his face was literally a fucking jigsaw. His face was like fuck to hell. Whereas this one, he just had like a big scratch on his face. That's it. Which I've had those before. But, because, I guess, of how severe the injury was, because you remember in that season finale, he doesn't just, crush his face against that glass. He fucking, literally smears his face all over that broken glass, which I thought was pretty gnarly. So I guess that fucked with his head. He ends up, wearing a mask that, resembles a jigsaw-like face, I guess. He ends up seeking out help from John Pilgrim, who's an alt-right Christian leader. His past was that he used to have a very violent past. They didn't really specify what. Then he found religion, and then he reverted into his old ways. So basically, he still has his religion, but he's kind of going back to his past while keeping his new religion, which kind of sounds like most religious people. So he's after this girl. They don't really reveal why. She just says he's killed everyone I've ever loved. So we're gonna find out why. And then you see Punisher fucking shit up and doing crazy shit. The other thing I hope for a Punisher series, I just want it to be bloody. I just want him to fuck shit up. I want him to kill people. I want him to not have any remorse. There's even a line in the trailer where it shows him helping that girl at the bar. And she says, you look like you're happy to have that excuse to kill someone. Which I'm hoping that this series is a lot more brutal and violent than the last season. That's the only thing I can hope for a Punisher series. Or a Punisher anything. Yeah, but I don't know. I've always been a fan of the Punisher. I can't really specify when I became a fan. I don't really know when I became a fan. I just know I became a fan. The Thomas Jane movie I liked. Personally, I liked it. I mean, I know it's a shit movie. I think Thomas Jane does a good job. It's one of those cases of the main actor playing the role does a great job, but everything around him sucks. John Travolta as the villain. Come on, no, it sucks. And you got the rest of the cast, they're just very one-note characters. Kevin Nash coming in and just getting his ass beat, I thought was pretty cool. Punisher Warzone, unfortunately, I saw that was just very bad. I mean, granted, it was kind of like a Punisher Max comic come to life, but it was just very bad. The Dolph Lundgren one I never saw. I think my girlfriend actually has it on VHS. I should probably watch it one of these days just to see how bad it is. Speaking of which, I remember it seems like the people who make the Punisher, like Marvel, when they make the Punisher comics, they kind of purposely make their Punishers look like past, actors who played the Punisher, because in the newest, issue that Marvel, in the newest, Punisher series that Marvel put out, he literally looks like Dolph Lundgren. I'm not even kidding. Literally looks like Dolph Lundgren. In one of the Punisher comics I have where he goes to L.A., he literally looks like Thomas Jane. And in the one where he has War Machine's armor, he looks like John Bernthal. So, and I haven't seen any Ray Stevenson ones, which, for good reason. But yeah, I'm just hoping that this season is good. It's probably the last time we're ever going to see the Punisher on Netflix, because they're more than likely going to cancel this, like they canceled, Daredevil and Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Jessica Jones is coming up; they're going to cancel that too. And supposedly those characters can't be used for another 2 years on any other streaming service. I know Punisher fans are lobbying to get the show back. And, Vincent D'Onofrio and Matthew Cox, or I keep calling him Matthew Cox. Is it Matthew Cox? What the fuck is his name? Matthew Cox is actually a friend of mine. I'm trying to think of what this guy's name is. Oh, shit. Now I gotta look his name up. Fuck. Hold up. Daredevil actor. Charlie Cox, there you go. Yeah, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are on board with, the Save the Daredevil, petition. Which I think it's cool that they're a part of it, but I've learned that petitions don't really get you anywhere. So, and with that being said, that is the end of the show. Thank you to everyone who listens to the show. Thank you for the love people show to the show. And in turn, I will show love back to y'all. Please listen to Wrestling Soup. I know you don't need me to tell you that, but listen to them. They're fucking awesome. They're probably the best wrestling podcasts out today. Not even just a wrestling podcast. They're a good podcast. They're called Wrestling Soup, but they don't really talk about wrestling all that much, and that's good. I'll even tell them that. Like, some of my favorite episodes, most of my favorite episodes are the ones where you don't talk about wrestling. So, Mish, Joey, John, amazing guys. I need to get Joe. I'm desperately trying to get Joey on the show. The Don, Tony, Kevin Castle show, making history. The first I don't know if it's the first, but it's the first I know of. The first wrestling podcast that's on Pandora. That's a big fucking deal. I mean, I'm not the biggest Pandora fan, but Pandora is the biggest radio station out there. Like, by far. Bigger than Sirius, in my opinion. And then, don't forget their Patreon channels, for Wrestling Soup, Don, Tony, Kevin Castle. For Don, Tony, Kevin Castle, just for $5, you can get extra content, like Castle Chronicles with Kevin. Another Kevin show is Dark Chronicles with him and Trez. Another good friend of the show who, again, like I said, she'll be on the show in 2 weeks. And with DT, you get Breakfast Soup with him and Mish from Wrestling Soup. They got some good shit out. They just did a Breakfast Soup Live, which is every Tuesday after SmackDown. So that's interesting concept. It makes for a very entertaining show. For Wrestling Soup, just $5 a month, you get some extra shit. You get a Global Botting with John Draper, a very good friend of the show. You get the Fag Show, the Frank and Gus Show, with Joey and Mish. I'm forgetting other people. Wrestling Court with Julian. The dude's been doing, this for a while. He's already well over 200 episodes. I think he's about to get to 230. Like, that dude's fucking awesome. I love that guy. I need to get him on the show pretty soon. What else? Texas Podcast Massacre. If you're into horror movies, whether they're good or bad, especially the bad ones, because these guys make it really fucking entertaining. Listen to these dudes. You can find them pretty much anywhere, you listen to podcasts, Google Play, iTunes, anywhere. These dudes are fucking awesome. I was on the show last year. Loved it. I can't wait to get back on. That's if they'll have me. They already told me that I'm welcome back on. We just need a date. What else? Arc Attack podcast with my friend Derek. They pretty much talk about the same shit as me. Well, not wrestling, but just like nerdy shit. Which I love nerdy shit. So listen to them. I don't know if they put out any new episodes lately. What else? Ew. I think that's it. Oh yeah, if you're a fan of music, if you're a big fan of music, like you love music, like music is your life, your livelihood, the only thing you live your life on. A friend of mine named Peter Stavros, he's putting out a podcast which comes out in the beginning of March. I'm forgetting the date, but it's basically gonna be based on music. I think it's called Bops and Bangers. I'm not 100% sure because I know it's the name of his news website. And Instagram was the fucking screw up. God damn it. Instagram's being a bitch. Let me get that name before we head on out. Come on. Yeah, he puts out a shit ton of shit each day. I'm trying to get to January 1st because that's when they put it out. Okay, here we go. March 1st, 2019, Bops and Bangers, the podcast with Peter and Melanie. It will premiere on your favorite podcast platforms. Basically, it's going over music. If you're a big music nerd, then that's pretty much the thing for you. I just got some weird email. But yeah. There's them, and that's pretty much all the plugs. If I'm forgetting anyone, I'm sorry. Twitter, GRI Show, Instagram, GRI Show, Facebook, GRI Show, and then YouTube, GRI Show. I used to do that for reactions. I don't really do reactions anymore. I don't know. I think it's a fact of me just not wanting to set everything up. But, yeah. This episode will be up in a few. I'll edit it, and there shouldn't be too much editing. That's what I like about recording on Audacity. But, yeah. Thank you guys, and I will see you. I might see you guys this Friday. You might get an episode this Friday, but if not, you'll definitely hear from me next week. Royal Rumble is next week. So next week will be a Royal Rumble prediction show. And then whatever else comes to mind. Alright, take care.